Good afternoon and thanks for joining us today. I'm Mackailyn Johnson. Now at noon, today marks a sad milestone in our nation's history with 1 million lives lost in the coronavirus pandemic. The reaction from Washington. In Arkansas, Attorney General Leslie Rutledge takes on drug companies alleged to have deceptively driven up the cost of insulin in Arkansas. The details just ahead. Plus, a new sneaker drop has everyone talking, and we'll tell you why. But first, we're here with meteorologist Nathan Scott on this hot, steamy, humid day. Nathan, are we going to get any type of relief anytime soon? Good afternoon, Mackailyn. The heat is on once again here in central Arkansas. It's only noon, and look at these numbers. 88 right now in Little Rock, 88 in Conway. We got lots of sunshine all across the state. A little bit of a breeze. That helps the situation out just a touch. But here's your feels like temperature. It feels like 96 in Conway. It feels like 94 in Little Rock. And these numbers will continue to climb up into the mid to upper 90s through the course of the afternoon. Your actual highs, low to mid 90s. So guess what? Another record will most likely fall here at Little Rock Airport because that record is 92. But we do have some changes on the way. We'll take a look at future clouds and radar today. Only showers and storms stay in Mississippi and Tennessee. Tomorrow, though, there's going to be some moisture moving in from the east, and there will be the potential of showers and storms, especially for the eastern half of the state, going into the afternoon and evening hours. Then everybody has a chance of showers and storms for your Saturday. I'll have more on that forecast coming up. Thanks, Nathan. President Biden has ordered flags to be flown at half-staff today as the nation marks 1 million lives lost in the U.S. during the coronavirus pandemic. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Alexa Rivera lost her mother to COVID-19 at the height of the pandemic, a memory that brings heartbreak and tears.
The suffering that my mother went through and that we were unable to be there for her on her last days. We were unable to offer her comfort and let her know that she wasn't alone.
78-year-old Anna Martinez died in 2020 in a New York nursing home. Her granddaughter was among the last to speak with her by phone.
About an hour after the conversation with the doctor about her kidneys failing, she was gone. I remember bawling in my room. I hadn't cried so much since I was like a child.
The family reflected on its loss as the nation reaches the once unthinkable milestone of 1 million deaths from COVID-19. Dr. William Schaffner is an expert in infectious diseases.
The 1 million number is astounding. When the epidemic started, this pandemic, I never thought that we would reach 1 million deaths.
Even now, with vaccines and treatments widely available, new variants trigger new surges, and cases are once again on the rise.
Hospitalizations generally are profoundly down, but I'm cautious because this virus continues to spread in our community, and we know around the world it's creating new sub-variants.
Since losing her mother, Rivera wears her picture close to her heart.
My mother will not be forgotten. Her name is Anna Martinez.
A nation in mourning for 1 million lives lost and still counting. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Nurses from across the country who have spent the past 2 years on the front lines of the COVID battle are marching on Washington, D.C. today, calling for higher wages and safe working conditions. Well, Senate Democrats failed in their efforts to advance a bill aimed at guaranteeing abortion nationwide. One Democrat, West Virginia's Joe Manchin, sided with Republicans in blocking the legislation from going to vote. Calls for federal legislation have grown more urgent. Following last week's release of a leaked Supreme Court draft opinion, it signals the court may be poised to overturn Roe v. Wade after almost half a century. And nearly a year after a high-rise condominium collapsed in Surfside, Florida, killing 98 people, victims and families have reached a tentative settlement with insurers and others for nearly $1 billion. The proposed settlement is expected to end the litigation phase. A wildfire is still burning in Southern California. It has already scorched about 200 acres and destroyed at least 20 homes. One firefighter has been hospitalized after suffering what officials called a medical condition in the field. Dina Demetrius has the latest from Orange County, California.
Firefighters sprayed water on what's left of multi-million-dollar homes in an upscale neighborhood about 50 miles south of Los Angeles.
So there's still a lot of work to be done out there today. Our crews are out there still aggressively working at it.
Crews spent all night battling the fast-moving blaze. Residents of Laguna Niguel have been evacuated and a state of emergency has been declared. Fire crews on the ground went house to house trying to contain the fire. From the sky, planes dropped retardant in hopes of stopping the spread.
We do have our projected containment lines around it. We're confident that it's not going to escape those lines.
Orange County officials say a 50 by 50 foot vegetation fire was first reported Wednesday around 2:44 p.m. local time. Less than an hour later, the fire spread to a roughly 3-acre area. An hour and a half after that, it was 10 times the size. The hot spots are fewer and the smoke is starting to clear a little in this Laguna Niguel neighborhood. The fire is out, but not before a wall of flames destroyed home after home. Laguna Niguel resident Brianna Kavinsky couldn't reach her pets in her home.
I guess we'll wait here because I'm afraid to go further.
But firefighters came through rescuing Brianna's cat.
I know they have huge things to deal with right now, so it was very thoughtful for them to save my animal.
The cause of the fire is under investigation, and that will include a notice from the power company, Southern California Edison, about circuit activity occurring close to the time the fire erupted. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Laguna Niguel, California.
Public utility companies are required to notify the state if their equipment was possibly involved in any wildfire incidents. Well, for those living with diabetes, they know that insulin is sky high, but Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge is taking action on that front. The Attorney General filed a lawsuit Wednesday to address the cost of insulin. She alleges that 6 companies conspired to raise the price of insulin, leaving many Arkansans having to choose between their insulin and other essentials. She says the goal is to make sure that those companies can't inflate those prices again.
To finally address the atrocious cost of prescription drugs, and particularly prescription drug of insulin that has not changed in decades, yet the price has gone up astronomically.
Rutledge says they're seeking $10,000 per violation in Arkansas. For more on the lawsuit, you can head over to thv-at-noon.com. Police Chief Keith Humphrey is sharing some of his final words for the city of Little Rock before he steps down next week. Violent crime has been going up nationally and here in Little Rock. Compared to last year, it's up by 5%, and over the past 5 years, it's up 22%. City officials said despite the increase, some of the more recent trends are looking better. In the middle of this challenge, Chief Humphrey explained what he thinks police need to do to make progress.
They have to rely on their faith and their experience. They have to listen to the community.
We will be keeping a closer eye on the numbers as violent crime tends to go back up during the summer months. Well, operations are returning to normal today at Fort Roots in North Little Rock. A water main break yesterday caused the Central Arkansas Veterans Healthcare System's campus to cancel appointments. The break affected everything from water pressure to air conditioners and wastewater. Temporary repairs were made to get the campus back up and running today. Canceled appointments are being rescheduled. And a heads up for people living within an earshot of Pine Bluff Arsenal. Explosive ordnance disposal is planned later today. The Army says you should not be alarmed if you hear explosions or see smoke coming from the installation this morning. In the 2022 Special Olympics, Arkansas Summer Games kicked off today at 9 a.m. at Harding University. Thousands of athletes are competing in track and field, powerlifting, flag football, swimming, hockey, and tennis. Special Olympics Arkansas says this is their biggest event of the year. The Summer Games will take place today and tomorrow on the university's campus. Well, coral reefs around the world are changing. What scientists say may be affecting them next.
A hazy look from Dash R View 11. You can see that moisture in the atmosphere. We'll see lots of sun today. Once again, temperatures hot. and they'll stay hot on Friday, but we do have some cooling showers and storms in the forecast. I'll let you know when they arrive next.